This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, I think we have declared that year over year over year, episode over episode over episode. Anyways, today is Wednesday, which qualifies it as a Whip'em Wednesday, July the 29th of 2017, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Oh yes, getting to do all the fun stuff at Radio Big, no doubt about that, as we are hanging and banging and doing everything there. So how have you been? How's the last 24 hours or so been for you? It's always a good time when you and I get to hang out. And I say 24 hours, but between you and I, you know how I say it doesn't matter who the host is? What happens if there's no host? That kind of makes it interesting. Yeah, kind of a disappearing act over the last 2 days. Would love to really describe what has been taking place, but it will probably be so nonsensical that you'll be like,
you gotta be fucking kidding me, huh?
So let's just kind of leave it at that. We'll just leave it. So with that being said, let's talk about what we do here. We talk about safety in the news and safety. That's kind of what our whole kit and caboodle is. So what we will do is we'll bring some professional broadcasters in. They'll talk about what the hell's going on. And then I'll give you some versionality of what the hell's going on inside of the multiverse. And then we kind of go from there. So there you go. And then I guess I should probably talk about this. If you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com. Callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging will kind of be the options of the things that you get to do. It's kind of the way that it works. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So that's it. The whole kittle and caboodle is the way that we are moving. So with that being said, let's do this. I do have my friends from Feature Story News that are hanging out. They want to talk to you. They want to do all the stuff that they can do. I mean, why would you not want to do all kinds of interesting stuff? So they'll come in here. They're going to talk. They're going to blab. They're going to give you some versionality of what the hell's going on out there, because I never know what's going on. I just kind of tell you what's put in front of me, and we talk about it, and then we kind of go from there. So here is what we are going to do. I am going to go down the path here. I will go ahead and bring in the people from Feature Story News, and we're going to move from there. So let's go ahead and I guess get into the news aspect. Apparently, I don't know how to run the board anymore. It's the way that it's looking, so let's do this.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News, I'm Rebecca Bunden in Mumbai. At least 13 people have died after an earthquake hit southwest Japan. with rescuers trying to reach people trapped in a shopping mall in Kumamoto. The earthquake, estimated at a magnitude of 6.8, struck Kyushu Island. Japan's Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi says that rescuers are racing against time. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister has said that Tehran will take any action to keep control of the Strait of Hormuz, rejecting an Omani proposal to divide shipping routes and refusing to negotiate with Washington. The declaration came as US President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu concluded White House talks, which the two described as excellent, with both leaders reaffirming what the White House called an ironclad commitment to preventing Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. Mitch McCann has more from New York.
Netanyahu said the encounter was one of the best meetings the two have had. He described it as excellent, and he said it was about full partnership, mutual support, and understanding of the shared goal to ensure that Iran will not have nuclear weapons and also other goals. So what happens next? Well, we're waiting for more information from the president to see if he's perhaps given Israel the green light to strike Iranian energy infrastructure, something that Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, reportedly has suggested that America has prevented them from doing so far. I think what was interesting in both of the meetings that Donald Trump had today is that they were closed meetings from the press. Now, often these meetings appear on the White House schedule as being closed, and then Donald Trump decides to invite the press in, but that didn't happen in either of the meetings that he had today, so there's no real way of knowing what the mood was in the room.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has held talks at the White House with US President Donald Trump on Tuesday, pressing for licenses that would allow Ukraine to manufacture Patriot missile interceptors on its own soil. President Zelensky described the meeting as productive and said the two leaders also discussed reviving the diplomatic process to end the war. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
They simply don't have enough to intercept that Russian barrage of missiles that happen almost on a daily basis. Donald Trump has promised to give the license to Ukraine to allow them to produce them. That was discussed at today's meeting, and President Zelensky, after it, posted on social media saying it had been a good meeting, saying that they had discussed Patriot production. He then went on to a meeting with the team from Lockheed Martin who produce the missiles from the Patriot system, and he said that they had discussed the joint production and technology exchange of those missiles. But at the same time, Zelensky today urging a return to diplomacy, asking for a reinvigoration of that diplomacy to try and end that more than 4-year conflict with Russia.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Over the next few days, we're going to hear thoughts about the US war on Iran from a man who accurately predicted the regime's response to an American attack. Nate Swanson is a career US diplomat, most recently a State Department representative on the Trump administration's Iran negotiating team. And days before the US bombed the country, he published a piece correctly predicting that Tehran would not capitulate and would instead upend the world's economy by closing the Strait of Hormuz. He was then promptly fired. Today, his thoughts on why the collapse of the Memorandum of Understanding signed last month by the US and Iran was inevitable.
Each side thinks the other is surrendering. The US, with all of its overwhelming military strength, believes that Iran should ultimately capitulate to their demands, whereas Iran feels like they won the war. They have the Strait of Hormuz, they have this new leverage they didn't have before. They put, tangible costs on the U.S. and more importantly on the global economy, and they feel like they won. So they feel like the U.S. should be surrendering. So these mindsets coming into the talks were, very different, and I think we're looking past each other. And so you add those two components with just a very weakly, ambiguously framed document, and this was inevitable. It was too volatile to say.
He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine tomorrow in Mr. Swanson's absence, who is advising President Trump on Iran. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. At least 13 people have died after an earthquake hit southwest Japan, with rescuers trying to reach people trapped in a shopping mall in Kumamoto. Iran's deputy foreign minister has said that Tehran will take any action to keep control of the Strait of Hormuz. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has held talks at the White House with US President Donald Trump, pressing for licenses that would allow Ukraine to manufacture Patriot missile interceptors. And that is the latest feature story news. Rebecca Bunden reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
What is happening here?
I'm looking for some fun. You
know?
I don't know what to expect.
This is the show you want. Every station on the radio is talking about it.
Okay, you can count me in.
Count me in, too!
Please just start.
What are you waiting for?
Okay, let's rock and roll.
All right, come on, let's do this.
Quiet, quiet, everybody.
Okay, so here we're back 15 minutes past the top of the hours. You and I are hanging out on this lovely Whip About Wednesday. So let's get into it. Let's start talking right away about some of the stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. No doubt about that. So if you're good with this, let's get into it right away because I got a ton of information to start covering. And I'm going to tell you, when we get to Freeform Friday this week, holy monkeys, am I going to be inundated with information? But let's go from here. A Georgia judge has sentenced Colt Gray, the teen who the teen who carried out the 2024 Appalachia High School shooting to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Gray, now 16, pleaded guilty to 55 charges, including the murder of 2 students and 2 teachers. He was 14 years old when the shooting occurred, killing teacher Ricky Aspinwall and Christina Ermey, along with 14-year-old students Mason Shermanhorn and Christian Angulo. 9 others were injured during the sentencing. Victims urged families to nudge to the judge to ensure that Gray would never be released. Prosecutors argued that he showed no remorse, pointing to evidence that he idolized other mass shooters and was fascinated by the online attention that he received after the attack. Defense attorneys argued that Gray was a deeply troubled teenager who had shown improvement while in custody through medication and treatment, asking the court to leave open the possibility of parole someday. His grandmother testified, and she repeatedly urged his parents to get him mental health before the shooting, saying that those warnings went unheeded. Judge ruled that Gray should spend the rest of his life behind bars, saying that there's no joy in the decision, but concluding that the severity of the crime warranted a sentence of life without parole. Gray's father, Colin Gray, was previously convicted for providing his son with a rifle used in the shooting and failing to secure it despite warning signs. His sentencing is scheduled for later this week. So there you go. I mean, talk about a family totally affected by the decision of the kid. And not that I'm saying other families weren't affected by the decision of the kid, but man, this gets interesting right away. 16, no possibility of parole, life in prison, made the decision at the age of 14, 55 charges. Pleaded guilty to 55 charges. So there you go. A lot of stuff there. That is for sure. So you know that we have to talk about this because there's always these high-profile cases that get into the public view of some stuff going on. So I don't know where to start here. So maybe we'll start one way and then we'll go to the other. So let's go this way. Former Dallas Cowboy quarterback and CBS analyst Tony Romo is facing an OWI charge after newly released police body cam footage showed an interaction with officers during a July 23rd traffic stop in Wisconsin. In the video, Romo repeatedly insisted that he had consumed zero drinks and questioned why officers suspected that he was impaired. Because I'm coming off the golf course, you think I'm drunk. He also requested a call for his attorney. Police said that they noticed red glassy eyes and the smell of alcohol before taking Romo to the station for a field sobriety test. Romo refused to take the breath test, telling officers that he had been advised by lawyers never to do so. Romo was cited for a first offense operating while intoxicated, refusing a chemical test, and he was later released on a schedule to appear on September the 21st. Take a listen to what was said.
All right, where are you coming from?
The golf course. And I'm going to meet Grandma and Grandpa.
Okay. All right. I'll take a driver's license from you.
You got it. What's your name?
Deputy Court.
So I want to meet Grandma and Grandpa, and I passed the Gore, which is the place you're talking about that we traveled over. I got it. You're saying I went over the white line.
Field sobriety test.
I'm still allowed to call my lawyer, right?
You're not.
I'm not allowed
Nope,
to.
step out of the vehicle. 24 to dispatch.
24.
I'll take an additional 1017. He's
I'm okay
not
doing
stepping
it,
out of the
but
vehicle for field.
I'll do it. I'm just saying that I'm not allowed to call 911.
Any available squad can head to backward 3000 to back up to 417.
You
Trying not to.
willing to submit to a PBT
What is that?
machine that you blow in?
It's a preliminary drug test.
It does not determine the results of
Oh,
my
no,
test.
we're not doing that.
Okay.
I've already heard from all the lawyers, don't ever do that.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're not going to do that.
Okay. All right, sir.
Did I pass this test?
You turn around.
No, I didn't, huh? Can I use my phone real quick? Because there's a plane taking off.
You're
My
under
parents are
arrest
there.
for operating
We'll
while
get to
under
that
the
as well.
influence. Okay.
Okay, so there you go. That is the body cam information of what occurred. Of course, it does video and audio based on what we can tell there. So despite his recent arrest on suspicion of operating while intoxicated, Tony Romo is expected to remain in CBS lead NFL analyst. Romo was arrested last week in Milwaukee after deputies say that he failed multiple field sobriety tests during a traffic stop on Interstate 43. Authorities also allege that he refused to take a breathalyzer test, as you just heard right there. According to the report, sources inside of CBS say the network has no plans to fire Romo over the incident. While some believe that he may temporarily scale back public appearances, executive reportedly expect him to remain in his role long term. Romo is in the middle of a lucrative contract reportedly worth $72 million over 4 years, making him one of the highest paid sports broadcasters on television. $72 million. Listen, I'm going to tell you a couple things here. I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's not guilty. I'm just going to say this. They are devices that are sold nowadays that you can plug into different cars. And if you're using a rental car, which I'm kind of surprised that he didn't have a car service, but we'll leave that for a different story. That you can plug into cars that will pretty much drive themselves. Not a joke. You look that up, and I'm going to tell you, if you are a person who rents a lot of cars and you have a lucrative offer, I mean, I don't know if you're pulling down $72 million over 4 years, but if you are, good for you. I'm definitely making sure that something's driving me around opposed to me taking a risk on losing that kind of money.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I don't know if I would say I'm an idiot because I want to make sure that I'm preserving the amount of moolah that I'm making. But man, I guess it gets interesting quick when you start talking about that stuff because you go, okay, well, what's going to make the most logical sense here? Whoa. What is happening inside of the system today? So there you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. President Trump is asking the Supreme Court to overturn an $83.3 million judgment awarded to writer E. Jean Carroll, arguing the decision undermines presidential immunity and would expose future presidents to civil lawsuits over statements made while in office. In the filing, Trump's attorney contended that allowing the verdict to stand would make presidents hesitant to perform their duties to fear of being personally sued, saying that it could have a lasting consequences on the office of the presidency. The appeal stems from Carroll's defamation lawsuit over comments Trump made in 2019. It's separate from another case in which jury awarded Carroll more than $5 million, a verdict that Supreme Court has already declined to review. The latest filing asked for the High Court to step along the long-running legal battles to erase the much larger $83.3 million. So hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so you made some comments. Let me make sure that I'm following along here. But you think that the comments should not be looked at because you were the president at the time. Interesting. What do you think? I mean, it almost seems like it was already ruled on. So should it be overturned? That is going to be the question of public opinion, because that's what always seems to matter.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about this because, man, apparently if you are a broadcaster inside of the sports arena, it's kind of a dangerous time, it sounds like, is what it's looking like for sure. Take a listen to this one. Former UFC fighter and current ESPN MMA analyst Anthony Smith has been arrested in Nebraska on 3 felony charges. According to the records, a 38-year-old was booked Monday night on charges of making terrorist threats, first-degree false imprisonment, and domestic violence causing serious bodily injury. Authorities have not released details about the alleged incident or identified the alleged victim. Smith remains in the county jail and no bond has been set on the latest reports. If convicted of domestic violence charge alone would carry a lengthy prison sentence. Smith retired from the UFC in 2025 with a record of 38-22 and has since worked as a full-time analyst at ESPN, where the co-host of weekly show MMA Today. It's unclear how the arrest will affect his role on the network. Okay, I'm going to take some wild guesses here. He's probably going to be removed. Just saying. Until he gets out of the pokey. That's going to be probably the first thing. And then the other side is then they're going to have to make a determination on what exactly should take place. It's just kind of the way that it goes. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything genius here in regards to talking about it. What do you think? I'm just saying. So just some stuff to talk about here. So just some things to give some consideración to. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. I don't get it sometimes. Because I look around and I go, how do we get to these places in regards of things ahead of time? So there you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world of the multiverse here, because that's just kind of what we do. So I have some odd stories that I guess we need to get to. So let's start off with this one, because you never think that this would be the case or the occurrence. But James Farthering, who won a record $167 million Powerball jackpot in 2025, has been arrested for the 4th time since collecting the winnings. No, seriously, the 4th time. Police say that James was arrested Monday on charges of strangulation and assault after allegedly choking a woman during an argument following a boating trip. The woman reportedly had visible injuries to her neck. James had pleaded not guilty. A judge ordered him to pay $15,000 cash bond fitted with an electronic monitor and barred from contacting the alleged victim. His latest arrest adds to the long criminal history. Just days after winning the lottery, he was arrested in Florida for allegedly assaulting a police officer, leading to a parole violation and jail time. He was arrested again earlier this year in Kentucky before striking it rich. James had already spent decades in prison on a variety of convictions. The case is scheduled to return to court on August the 27th. They say money changes people. Apparently not everybody. Well, I don't know if I would say that it changes people. It definitely seems to magnify things, is what it sounds like. What an interesting time, though. So he hit the jackpot. They kept hitting everything else. And then his lucky number should have been his attorney's phone number is definitely what it sounds like. So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff going on inside of the world there. What do you think? It's very interesting. So take a listen to this, because this is probably going to take a
turn for the unexpected.
Scientists at UCLA have found that an unusual way to keep funds for their research. They started an OnlyFans account for marmots. The page is called Only Marms. It featured G-rated videos of yellow-bellied marmots living in their lives in Colorado mountains. The project led to biologist Dr. Daniel Bloomstein, who spent years studying the furry rodents and their social behavior. The idea came from Bloomstein watched an Apple TV Plus series, Margot's Got Money Troubles, and realized that OnlyFans could be used for more than just adult content. Well, that's the funny part, because the moment that you do mention adult, let me say that. Let's see, OnlyFans, people assume that it is adult content, is what we'll call it. So Instead of racy photos, subscribers get adorable videos. The account is free to follow, with fans leaving optional tips. So far, the furry influencers have earned about $650. Not exactly OnlyFans superstar money, but every dollar helps support wildlife research. These are the only models on OnlyFans who spend half of their day hibernating. It's only the first time OnlyFans account has been showing a little tail, so there you go. It's not the only time, for sure. That is what it sounds like. Let's continue talking some other stuff. You ready for this one? Because this is interesting. And it's going to get weird. A school district in upstate New York has put brakes on plans to introduce an AI-powered humanoid robot named Sally to a high school classroom after parents, teachers, and state officials pushed back. The district had approved nearly $60,000 on the robot, hoping that it would help students learn robotics, coding, and technology by answering questions and demonstrating how AI systems. School leaders insisted that Sally was never meant to replace teachers. The controversy erupted after critics pointed out that Sally's manufacturer, Realbotics, is affiliated through its sister company with the maker of AI-powered sex dolls. The connection with concerns over students' privacy and role in AI education sparked outrage. The district says that Sally would not record audio or video, collect student data, or access public internet, and that all information would stay in the local system. Even so, that the project has been pushed back while school officials work through privacy concerns and continue meeting with the community. Supporters say that the robot could expose students in rural districts to cutting-edge technology and argue the needs of human teachers, not humanoids, are ones. The robot's first lesson was how to get suspended before the school year starts, is what it sounds like. And what else do we got around here? Let's talk about some other stuff. Nothing says education like beginning with public relations disasters. Parents wanted smaller class sizes, not Terminator Home Edition, or Homeroom Edition is probably what I should say. And finally, a substitute teacher that literally needs a software update. At least when a human teacher freezes, it's because they're thinking. Imagine getting detention from someone who needs Wi-Fi. And kids already ignore their teachers. Now they ignore one of that costs $60,000. So I guess that kind of gets into the whole kit and caboodle of everything that's going on, is what it sounds like, for sure. So there you go. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and do it.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so main story time, and let's go ahead and go down the hole that we call our main story here. And let me tell you, it's a downward spiral, and I'm not trying to quote any particular bands here, but let's go into it because we have to talk about this. And I know that these are not conversations that people love to have, but it is something that we need to discuss from time to time because it does get interesting, it does get out of control, and it does get into that weird scenario where life does go on. But there are times inside of our workplace that weird shit happens, and we have to talk about it. And when I say weird shit, I'm really talking about that particular aspects of it. I want you to think about this. I know that we try to avoid serious injuries and fatalities inside of our workplace, but, and it's not a big but, it's just a but, these things do happen. Injuries inside of workplaces happen. Severe injuries inside of workplaces happen. Fatalities inside of workplaces happen. And listen, it's not an easy conversation. It's not an easy day at the office, as people like to say, when these things occur. But we also have to discuss these things. And I always look at this and go, what exactly do you have as a plan if you have a catastrophic event occur inside of your workplace? Like, seriously. Because here's the worst thing that can happen. You have a terrible incident that occurs, and you have nothing structured on what can occur next. Like, do we stop the line? Do we halt work? Do we have conversations with people that might have been involved that were not affected directly by the incident, but still had some kind of a mental impact into it? And that's the weird part here. These conversations in smaller organizations normally are held in real time in regards of what should be going on, opposed to having a planned structure ahead of time. And listen, we can sit here and talk about SMS, safety management systems. These things need to be in place and developed way before you have an incident, way before you have an accident, way before you have a fatality, way before anything that's going to happen inside of that workplace. And the reason that these things are worked on is for someone who doesn't have an understanding of the system can look at this book or can look at these files. I shouldn't say books because they're probably not even printed anymore. But can look at either books or files, hopefully they're still printed, and they can know what to do next. And we're not even talking about severe things where you need incident command. That's a whole other level of stuff. But is there a structure currently in your workplace that you can say, yes, this is exactly what we do to make sure that everything's working? Because I'm going to tell you, in my humble opinion, majority of the places that I get to go hang out in, they know there's something, but they do not know where to find it the majority of time. And that's where it gets interesting. Because if we are going to say that people should know about our systems, we have to train them on where this information can be found, on what needs to be done if an incident or an accident does occur, especially a catastrophic one. And I'm not talking about, hey, I want you to see this is where the book's at. Could you initial here? Now you know where this book is. That's not what I'm saying. It's having a true understanding. Because listen, for the most part, this documentation is normally gigantic in regards to the layout, but it is normally very well structured in regards to what needs to be done. Now, don't get me wrong here. There are organizations that sell safety management systems, and they're kind of a plug and play type of thing. You buy a piece of software off the shelf. You have the document, you type in your info, and then you click a button, you click another button, and then it uploads all of your data, and you go from there. Now, I'm going to tell you, not every single one fits every single organization, but I would look at it from the standpoint of the safety management system needs to be something that's laid out for overall operational needs inside of the organization. Now, the other portion that people tend to forget about is the international standards that some places have for how these safety management systems should be developed. And I'm not here trying to give you some coursework to go look at, but sometimes we don't talk about the seriousness of some of these things. And I know it pisses people off, but sometimes I do it on purpose. And I look at it from here and go, these are the structures that if they're not in place, you probably should have the conversation today and say, why do we not have a safety management system in place? Why do we not have these conversations that people know where to find the data? Now, listen, I'm not going to say that the book's going to solve everything, but you should have a good enough information inside of there of what are the crucial elements of what needs to be done. Now, I'm not talking about SDS, safety data sheets. I'm talking about safety management systems. So here's my challenge for you today. If you currently do not, and I'm saying do not, have a safety management system in place? Maybe that's the conversation you go in and have today and go, why do we not have this? And how difficult would it be to get this put into place? I'm going to tell you, it's going to probably suck for a half a minute, but man, is it going to be worth having in the long run?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D., because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium
premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
I don't wanna play in your band, yeah, it ain't that good. Hey, no way. Hey, little guitar boy, I got some news for you, just for you, just for you. Hey, little guitar boy, I got some things.
Okay. She doesn't want to be in my band. So there you go. Anyways, 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yep. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, and we are hanging out. So this right here is Claire Crowther. Song's called News for You. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. And they don't want to play in my band. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Go ahead and give that one a little streamer-eamer action. We've played it before, but I like it, so we kind of come back to it.
Duh.
That's the way that some of the stuff goes around here. That is for sure. Anyways, with that being said, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. I'm going to tell you, go there, take a look around. It can change everything for you. I always tell people they should probably take a look at all the data that's there because there's a lot of information, plenty of information that would be worth your while. Just all you have to do is just scroll through. Like, I will just tell you, like, as you look around, if we go through it, events that are coming up, immediately you'll see things that are listed on there. There's a Cycle 200 mile in July, which has already started, but they're still going through the challenge. They also have, this weekend they're going to be in St. Charles, Iowa. At, it's called Hinterland. August the 7th, QPR Suicide Prevention Virtual Training. And that's just to name a few things that are going on. So there you go. Take a look around, see what you see what you find, and let me know what you think. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you, normally this next little section, we would start normally discussing what exactly we have planned next. What is our next event? All that kind of fun stuff. I'm going to hold off for a moment. And I know that we normally don't have these discussions, but I'm working on some things behind the scenes. And the behind the scenes stuff that we're working on is going to be slightly bigger than the forward facing things that we're doing. So give me a few days and I'll start telling you what we have planned next. If I'm keeping it real, I'm working on 2 currently public facing events with a potential third, and the third one will not be in the US. But maybe I'm jumping the gun there. So there you go. Just some stuff to discuss. So we'll do all of that stuff as I have more information. But don't worry, we will discuss it sooner rather than later. or later rather than sooner. No, I'm kidding. Sooner rather than later is what we'll do here. So anyways, with that being said, and us enjoying our lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, let's go ahead and bring some John Small to our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Edwin. Gianni Versace said, "You have to break a barrier every day. Fashion to me is born and dies every day." Very cool quote from a fashion icon. Now, I'm not really into fashion much. I have nothing against it, but I just can't tell a fancy, expensive designer outfit from a cheap knockoff or even just a cheap outfit. You do not need to dress to impress me. I'm more comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt than I am in a suit. I had an event a few weeks ago, my daughter's wedding. I needed to wear a suit. It was the first time I wore a tie in many years. Since then, I've worn a tie 2 more times. No tie for 6 or 7 years. Now 3 ties in the same summer? I feel like I'm getting all fancy on you, but I'm not. I just accepted a few fancy speaking events.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Donald Trump at the White House ahead of a funeral for Senator Lindsey Graham.
The two leaders held a private Oval Office session Tuesday morning without reporters present. Their talks came as world leaders gathered in Washington to honor Graham, a staunch advocate for Ukraine who died suddenly earlier this month. Gary Beck reporting.
U.S. single-family home prices rose in May, adding pressure to already stretched affordability for young and first-time buyers.
Federal housing data show prices rebounded 0.3% in May after a slight dip in April, with values up 2.2% over the past year. Combined with higher mortgage rates and a shortage of starter homes, the trend is making it harder for many households to break into the market or trade up. Kyle Norris reporting.
U.S. diplomats walked out of a United Nations meeting after France criticized America's human rights record in a sharp transatlantic clash.
American representatives exited the chamber as French officials began speaking at the Security Council session Monday. The rare public rift highlights growing tensions between longtime allies over rights policies and global governance approaches. Chris Anderson reporting.
A teenager died and 4 others were injured after lightning struck a group hiking on a Colorado mountain summit over the weekend.
The fatal strike occurred Sunday afternoon on Mount Blue Sky, according to sheriff's officials. One injured person was airlifted from the 14,265-foot peak, while others sustained minor injuries in the incident. Lawrence Keller reporting.
New applications for U.S. unemployment benefits fell last week, pointing to continued stability in the labor market despite slower hiring.
The Labor Department reported Thursday that initial claims dropped to a seasonally adjusted 187,000 for the week, ended July 18th. The decline suggests layoffs remain limited, even as employers appear cautious about adding new workers. Kevin Sanders reporting.
NASDAQ fell as investors grew nervous about heavy spending on artificial intelligence chips and rising competition from China ahead, key earnings reports.
The tech-heavy index slipped more than 1%, with major chip makers leading Tuesday's decline. Traders are bracing for earnings from some of Wall Street's biggest names, watching whether AI investments still look sustainable or signal a looming pullback. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A powerful earthquake struck southern Japan, damaging buildings and triggering a brief tsunami advisory that was lifted within hours.
The magnitude 7.1 tremor hit Kumamoto Prefecture on Kyushu Island Tuesday afternoon, officials said. Emergency crews responded to reports of structural damage and power outages, while residents were urged to stay away from coastlines during the alert. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A heat dome is building over the western United States, bringing triple-digit temperatures and elevated wildfire risk across California and the Southwest.
Forecasters say highs could reach 110 to 120 degrees in desert areas by week's end. The excessive heat is expected to strain power grids and increase fire danger across parched landscapes. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good. On Radio Big.
Oh, yes, it's definitely all good. No doubt about that as we are talking here. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick. Let's talk about some things that happen back on this date, because that always seems to be something that we like to talk about real quick. Back in 1835, first sugar plantation in Hawaii begins. In 1920, the first transcontinental airmail flight from New York to San Francisco. Yep, New York to San Francisco. Think about that for a moment. Also, what else? In 1965, Beatles movie Help premieres for Queen Elizabeth as she attends. I don't really think that it was for her, but it sounds like that. In 1983, Friday Night Video premieres on NBC TV. In 1987, Ben and Jerry Garcia agree to a new flavored Cherry Garcia. Boy, what a great decision that was. I'm not going to lie. That's probably one of my favorite ones. In 2015, Microsoft launches Windows 10. In 2016, Hillary Clinton accepts the Democratic nomination to the U.S. president as the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, becoming the first woman nominated by a major U.S. party. So there you go. In 2021, following Simone Biles' withdrawal of teammate Sanisa Lee becomes the first American Olympic champion in any sport, winning women's artistic individual all-around gymnastics gold in Tokyo. That all happened on the dates that I did reference at that time. Okay, let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Tim Gunn turned 73. Martina McBride turned 60. Will Wheaton turns 54. Rachel Miner turns 46. So there you go. That is some birthdays that are going on today. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is for $663 million. Here are last night's winning Mega Million jackpot for $800 million. 34, 48, 49, 59, 70. Mega Ball was 12. Since there was no jackpot winner, Friday's jackpot drops to, Since there was a jackpot winners, the Friday jackpot will drop to $50 million. So there you go. The next full moon is the Buck Moon, which peaks this morning at 10:36 EDT. Maybe that will just become standard time here relatively shortly. So there you go. Do we want to do a couple more? Let's do more. More than 30 water systems across Minnesota were hit by a cyber attack over a 2-day period, prompting the state and federal investigation. Officials say that the attacks were targeted for the utility system on Sunday and Monday, and currently no indication that drinking water was contaminated or that the residents need to change how they use their water. Minnesota IT Service is working with the FBI and other state officials and federal agencies to determine who was behind it. So there you go. There you go. And then which one should we do here? Let's do this one. The Senate voted 51-47 along party lines yesterday to confer to Jay Clayton as the new director of national intelligence, replacing Bill Pulte. Confirmation came a day after the Senate advanced Clayton's nomination, with no Democratic senators supporting the move. Following the vote, Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said that remains skeptical about Clayton's ability to lead the nation's intelligence agency. Despite Democratic opposition, Clayton secured the confirmation with Republicans' support and now takes over the country's top intelligence spot. So there you go. So anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so if you want to come over there and hang out with me for the next couple hours. If not, you can stay right here. Matter of fact, I'm going to radiobig.fm just in case. If you want to stay here and talk with Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. There's some options for you. If you need some words of wisdom for today, here we go. You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will. So there you go. If you need some advice for a day, as a softener for laundry, add 1 cup of vinegar during the rinse cycle. That sounds like it's going to smell terrible. We'll leave it at that. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.